Memerister react to Simon's solve of his puzzle. So see you all next time. Bye for now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone enjoyed Zeta Math's stream. It was fun. I lurked a little bit. I was mostly cooking during the stream, but I was actually mostly just waiting in excitement to watch this video with all of you. Yeah, I'm excited to see how Simon gets along. Hello, everyone. Long time no see, yeah. Long time no see. Yeah, so this is kind of a weird puzzle, actually, a weird puzzling experience, because usually I put out puzzles as soon as I set them. So if I get something featured, it's very fresh in my mind because I've just set it. Usually. Sometimes it's a while before it gets featured, of course, that happens. But this one was 3 months ago, and I didn't publish it for reasons that we might get into, but it's basically just that it was maybe going to be part of a Patreon pack, and then it wasn't. So we left it there for a while. Anyways, let's just get started. Let's get into it. Actually, before we get into it, I want to mention that tomorrow we have another stream, and it's with an interview with 2 to 10th. And if you don't know about that, or you didn't hear about that yet, that's happening. So go check that out tomorrow, if you can. And yeah, let's just get right into it.
Hello and welcome to Friday's edition of Cracking
Welcome,
Cryptic, where today we have got
Okay,
build your own
as we're going through the
Renbanbometers for you.
as we're going
by
through the intro, tell me
Memerister,
how my
a
voice
colourful puzzle
sounds compared to
that is
Simon. I
supposed
tried to
be
get it
quite
right this time.
approachable and has an almost perfect rating on Logic Masters Germany.
Not anymore.
So this
Thank you,
should
Discord.
be fun. And in fact, I'm going to start today by wishing one of our viewers from the Netherlands, Henk, a very happy 19th birthday.
Hello, Math Testo.
And Henk,
Hello,
I believe
everyone,
that
by the
you
way.
are really
I'm a little
into
bit louder
colour
than Simon.
puzzles, so this should be right up your street. Now,
Should I turn it just a little bit down, or should I leave it? What do you guys think? Sound balance is good. Okay, leave it. Okay.
I will
don't
tell
want to
you,
mess
I was
with
about
anything.
to turn on the webcam to record this and realised, let me show you the version I had on the screen at the time. I had this version on the screen, which has no letters on it at all. But I realised I couldn't see the difference between these four colours. And these are apparently different colours. I called Mark and said, look, am I meant to be able to tell the difference between these colours? He said, well, can't you see the difference? I was like, no. And he said, apparently, I can't even remember what he said. I think he said those are more purpley than these. So this is...
So apparently those two are considered purple, whereas the bottom two are considered to be pink. And I took these like hex codes from like a site that was supposed to be like, these are distinct colors. And as I continued to look at this puzzle more and more, I was like, those are really similar. I should probably change that.
is
But
the pink
yeah,
and purple
I probably should have,
dichotomy,
but I didn't.
with which apparently I am cursed. I have literally no idea. These, to me, those four cells look identical.
Yeah, also
and
his
if I was
monitor.
to, you know, if you put a gun
true.
to my head
And
and
the
said, which
CTC
is the more purple, I would say this one.
Oh,
And
interesting.
that might be wrong. I don't know. But
It is
anyway,
definitely
thankfully,
wrong.
there is a different version here where it's
Oh,
all
yeah,
revealed.
grey would
I've
have
got
been a good
different
one to
colours,
choose.
or I've got letters at least. So I can now see that that is certainly different to whatever I had in the middle box before.
I did include colorblind versions,
solve
so
the puzzle. Anyway, what do I need to tell you about? I've done Hank's birthday. I've talked about my useless eyes. Over on Patreon, I want to read out more names of successful solvers of the 12 Labours of Hercules Sudoku Hunt, and also give you a little bit of a heads up for what's coming at the start of December. But very well done to Christian Eggink, Thomas Ruslin, Ben
I feel
Nee,
bad, but I'm just gonna go through this.
Monty, thank you for Arachne Solution. Very well, you should be able to find. The solution videos are all up now,
okay.
so if you were baffled by any of the puzzles, you should be able to find that if you're a $3 patron or above.
Oh,
And
cozy up.
now let me show
Sitting
you
down.
what's coming at the start of December. The
Ooh,
cryptic scriptures of the
looks-
Secret Snake Society.
This looks fancy.
And there's, I love this. It's all about basically the distinguished serpent and some of the puzzles that Serpent discovered.
Thank you,
and
Isabella.
the translation by the team of puzzle historians, and you can see some of the puzzle.
My veggie korma did turn out, I think, good, David Ratner. I haven't had dinner yet. I needed to make the dinner before, because this is sort of the time in which I would make dinner, is when I'm actually streaming this. So I wanted to make it before then so that it's all ready to go when my lovely fiance comes home from her work.
Puzzle historians involved in creating this pack. We've got Dad Jokes, Jay Dyer, Mr. Menace, Piotr V, Round Planer, Rockrat Zero, Zegrez. You've got Dying Flutchman overseeing it all, and some great testers and proofreading as well.
Cool.
It really is. This is a stunner. And more will be revealed in due course.
Oh, I didn't even clue into that, Rockrat. It's a snake puzzle. It's a snake puzzle pack. So there's snake puzzles. Oh yeah, it does say a collection of occult snake puzzles. Cool. Snake puzzles are really fun.
We've got coming up on Patreon.
I want to solve that actually.
Which I also hope might even have
a
little bit of a Christmas bonus.
Serpent.
Serpent Sudoku Hunt. So it's good times to be enjoying variant Sudoku. Now, let me read you the rules of Build Your Own Renbanbometers. Thank you, Memrister, for that tongue twister. The rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Along Renbanbometers, digits must increase from the bulb end and form a non-repeating consecutive sequence. Now, I think that is a very complicated way of... Let me explain what I think that means. Let's imagine that the B joined to the other B like this. Now, we're being told that the digits increase from the bulb end. So this is going to be the lowest digit on our Renbanbometer. But overall, the digits on here have to be a consecutive sequence.
My head for the rules.
Now, given that we've got to increase as we move along the thermometer, I think this is what this is saying is if this was a 1, this would be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6 pattern. Because if it wasn't that, well, let's try and put a 7 at the end and now consider whether this is a consecutive sequence. Well, it's clearly not. And given that, so we've got to go up basically in steps of 1, but we're still faced with the challenge of working out how the Renbanbometers, how they work. The Renbanbometers in this puzzle are all hidden. Only their bulbs and tips are given. Bulbs are larger circles while tips are smaller circles, and corresponding tips and bulbs share the same colour, brackets and letter in my version. Renbanbometers can move diagonally or orthogonally. Okay, so the diagonal the existence of being able to draw in diagonal lines means this doesn't work quite like NumberLink. There is an absolutely wonderful Japanese logic problem called NumberLink. Nickly used to make, well, they probably still do make them, but they used to be on the Nickly website in the competition, the online competition puzzle form that I used to solve every day with great joy until, was it Flash broke or something? NumberLink was my absolute favourite puzzle. And I thought this was going to work like NumberLink, but apparently we can have diagonal connections, which means that we can't. Can move diagonally or orthogonally, but Renbanbometers cannot ever cross, and different Renbanbometers cannot share a cell. Right, so we can't cross our Renbanbometers. So we can't do things like this. Or I guess have different Renbanbometers crossing each other. And we can't, and that's confirmed by the fact that different Renbanbometers can't share a cell, so we can't do that and then join the A up. How do I do this? Like that.
I love that you can use the different colors to draw the thermos.
Share a cell in that position. And if I read the rules correctly, that is not allowed. So we mustn't do that.
Hello, Dusan. Welcome.
And instead, we must obey the rules of the puzzle if we want to get it right. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. We get a given digit today in the form of an 8, and now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. And I am going to start by...
What is it going on? Oh, my bad. That was my bad. That was I had opened my phone to respond to my fiance who said, "Have fun on your stream," and accidentally hit play on the CT stream, which I had on my phone. I had Zeta Stream on my computer. Okay. And now we get back to it. Okay.
I'm trying to work out what's going on in this middle box. It looks like... it looks like I have got problems here actually in the middle box. I've got to make sure... Well, the first thing I'm seeing actually is related to the B clues and the E clues. I think what this is saying is that the E clue has to come to this cell, because if I grey is E, isn't it? If the E clue doesn't come to this cell, but it has to connect to this cell, how are we going to do that if it doesn't come to this cell? And the answer seems to be that we have to go up and loop around this yellow tip of the B. But if I do that, how on earth am I going to get the B to connect to this B without cutting the grey Renbanbometer of E-ness? Isn't this? It's just not possible, is it? If I connect these up, it doesn't matter what sort of circuitous route I go on. You can now see it's impossible to get B over here without going through either another box.
Eric, you can set the pen tool to do only center to center if you want to do that, or only edges. I think it's a very underutilized property, which I think is really great. I usually either set it to edge only or center only, depending upon what I'm doing with it.
Bulb or crossing a Renbanbometer or something. So that doesn't work. So that's got to be correct.
Oh, the app. Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't use the app.
Right. But now I seem to have do I have a problem with F now? So F... Oh, and C. Ah! This is all getting very cluttered.
Oh, yes, very cluttered. Welcome, Zeta Man.
Hang on a minute. Have I done this wrong? E? E's going to join to E. Then F can't go downwards. Oh, actually, no, maybe it can. Oh, no, it can't. It can't get out. If F goes downwards now, it's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, it is
so
very
that
similar to the
doesn't work.
puzzle.
That's total nonsense.
It's funny because I made this like 3 months ago, right? I mentioned that. But I was like waiting on releasing it for a long time, and every single time I saw any puzzle that was even vaguely similar, I'm like, no, they've done it before me. But like, I just need to calm down, because it's usually just people doing a build your own thermo Sudoku, which was inspired. Like I was inspired by a build your own thermo Sudoku to make this one, so it was way before me. I can't even remember who was that.
So F has to go upwards, but where does F go if it goes upwards? It has to... Whoa, it's got to go there. But now C has to get to here without cutting across F.
Another one. Sarah, yes.
Oh, hang on. But could
Welcome
C
back.
go this way? No.
No.
No, it can't actually, because it's going to isolate this I. If we connect
novelty was
C,
overrated, yeah.
even if I try and do it like that, you can see this I is getting penned in. And you could say, but the I can get out. And you'd be right, I suppose, in a way. We could make an enormous journey for our I. But that must be more than 9 cells. That's about 100 cells. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. It's more than 9. And we can't, because we have to increase as we move along each Renbanbometer, we can never have more than a 9-cell Renbanbometer in the puzzle.
I love that he just keeps saying Renbanbometer,
So-
even though it doesn't need to.
Let me just think. I'm just going to mull this over for a moment. I mean,
yeah,
it
happy
looks
Black
to me
Friday,
very much
hopefully
like that
none of your
has to do
family died.
that.
It also
Now
trapped
this,
D, yeah.
this
The
F is
the
getting
D.
tricky, isn't it? Because it mustn't cut whatever we... So if we join C up directly, I can see that F can now go round the corner. Look, it could do something like that, and it could join like that, or it could go and wend its way around. But I think it's got to do that. I can't see another way of connecting C to C and still
see a way.
allowing... Oh, hang on. No, maybe I'm wrong. What about that? No, because we can't get the F out. The F can't cross this boundary even with a diagonal line. That's nonsense. So yeah, so C has to join to itself directly. Now that gives us some digits actually, because remember we've got to go up in steps of 1 along Renbanbometers. So that's the low end. That's the high end. So the F now has got to go up
that's
here,
the tricky
up
spot,
here.
Eric.
Now, if
Turgeon.
it keeps going, it's going to isolate the A from
Yeah.
this. These A's have to connect directly, don't they? So we mustn't impede upon that ability. And again, you could say, the A's could ring the grid. Yeah, that's probably true. I haven't worked that out, but I can see that any drawing of A that rings.
Yeah, see, this is the problem with diagonal connections, with like build your own this line. Like Zetaman said, he's doing a build your own 10 lines puzzle, and he's going back and forth between whether letting it go diagonally or not. If you do let things go diagonally, then there's like a lot of freedom for things to go for a very long time. But in this case, you're limited because you can only do 9 cells. So you can't do this whole going around. So it's a lot more constrained than other things that could go diagonally. Like if you were to do between lines diagonally, that would be a little bit tough, because then you could maybe put like repeated digits over and over again on it, and it's hard to intuitively know whether things are going to work or not. So it's harder to figure out how to get the break in. Even just this, getting this middle box to work out I kept missing options. I kept missing like ways that it could swing around each other. And I think that might be because I was putting them really close together, but I wanted to make it all cramped together so it was a little bit easier to see.
Because all of these middle digits is going to be more than 9 cells. So I don't believe that's possible. So I think we can broadly do this. But now the thing that worries me is the size of this cell, which cannot be an 8 or a 9, but is on quite a lengthy thermometer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, okay, that's lovely. So this is forced, because this cell is the tip of the thermo. It cannot be 9 and 8, so the maximum we can make it is 7. Let's step back along the thermo, keeping the thermo as efficient as we can, and we end up with 1. So if we were to deviate here, this would become a 0 or a negative number, and that won't work. So there we go. We've done something. We've done the orange. We've done the red Renbanbometers, and we can
Small circuit gets a big
therefore.
digit, yeah.
Well, now we know the values for E, don't we? Because
This is a
the
fun
only
step with
digits we're choosing E from are 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. But this has to be at least 2 lower than this. Well, in the sense that there has to be 2 intervening digits. Because to travel from here to here,
is a little bit tricky,
the least
Isabel,
cells
so
we
don't
could
feel
put
bad
on it
about
would be
that.
those 2. So that must be 3, that must be 6, that must be 5, that must be 4. There we go. We've filled in our E Renbanbometer without any trouble at all. This is a 4 in the corner. There's a 4 in one of those cells. Oh, that shifted the D across. That was weird. Hang on. Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
I think they're
I don't know what that pencil mark
corner
means.
marks.
Um,
And apparently 4 is less than D, so it's shifted over.
So where are we looking now? We've got, if that's a 4, 5, 6, 5, no, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we couldn't have a 6 there.
There's a 6 in the box.
Oh, okay, hang on. If that's a 4, if this is a 4, where do we put the 6 on that would have to exist on this line? That is the question that I'm wrestling with here.
4 is less than D.
It could be up here, but I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah, Ambrose, you can do given corner marks, which is usually honestly just annoying because I'll like clear a puzzle to put it into CTC to solve from scratch, and then I'll realize I had 2 corner marks somewhere that had crossed over to the CTC, and now I have to go back and redo the whole CTC conversion process, which is really just a button, but to clear the corner marks as well. I don't know why there's giving corner marks, but there has been for a while.
It can't go up there and ever get out, because once this A connects to this A, that's going to effectively form a wall. I don't think this can be a 4, because I don't see how I can put 6 on its Renbanbometer. So I'm going to claim that this is a 4, which means one of these 3 is a 4. Goodness only knows what this is now. Well, let's put the options in. 1, 5, 7, or 9. No, not 5 by Sudoku. It's not 9 because it's in a bulb and it's got to attach this. It's not. It's a 1. Okay, that's forced to be a 1. It can't be a 7, because if it was a 7, it's 8, 9, well, 8, 9, that's going to be a 10. That's not going to work, not even in Memrista's Renbanbometer land. Okay, so these squares are now 5s, 7s, and 9s.
This was the second thing that I wanted to do with this sort of constraint, was put a 1 in a bulb. So then you sort of have to make sure you get all the digits along the way, all the way from 1 all the way to the as high as you can get. And you'll see it's funny with D, because it forces you to sort of take a bit of a roundabout way when you could have easily connected the D to D with 4 cells, but you sort of have to take a longer way because of that.
That is okay. That's the tip of the B Renbanbometer, and that therefore is allowed to be a high number. Okay, so D. Oh, okay. So, but how does I get to I without cutting off D? Surely it's got to go through this 4. Yeah, that's forced, isn't it? How do I get this I to connect here? Now, if we don't go through here, hang on, let me see it. Yeah, I can draw that. If I do that, you can see however I do it, whatever circuitous route I take, there's now no way to connect two greens together without a big problem. So we must go through, well, I was going to say we must go through here, and that's true, but I don't know whether we go like that, or even like that, providing I leave room for the D to get around the edge. But I do know that I comes through here. And if I comes through this cell, it must go there.
Yeah.
Ah, no. All right, okay. I think all of that is probably true. But this is
lots
the
of things you can do at this point.
And that's a 4 on the Renbanbometer. So that must be a 1.
He totally did just say Renbanbometer.
That's going to take at least... Well, even if I go very directly, which I actually can't. I can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's a 2 in this column preventing that. So that must be a 1. And then there must be a 2 in one of those cells, and that must be a 3. And that means there's a 1 in one of the bulbs up here, which is not surprising. Oh, I like that. Flicking the pencil marks over. Okay, can this be a 1? That's going to require me to put... Well, I don't think that can be a 1, because the next digit on the Renbanbometer is going to be a 2. And that 2 seems very, very, very problematic in that regard. I can't go over here, because I've got to get back over here, and there's no way to do that once I've disappeared up there, because I'm going to run into pink. So that's not a 1. Now that means Oh, I see. And then this is a 1, and because it can go this way and needs to go this way, it doesn't get troubled by the naughty 2 in column 5. So that must be a 2, and that presumably is going to be a 3. Well, yes, okay. Perhaps the question is, what if this is not a 3? Well, then that's a 3, but then I can't put the next digit on the Renbanbometer because the 4 and the 5 are impossible because they've already been hypothecated to the orange Renbanbometer.
I can't unhear it now.
So that's
you just keep saying it.
Oh, I've just remembered something I forgot to tell you. We're streaming tonight. I'm such a wally. Yeah, we're streaming tonight, 10 o'clock UK time. We'd love to have your company. We're streaming ourselves.
Are they still streaming?
Sudoku for once. We're not playing games tonight. We're looking at the Sudoku Skunkworks puzzles where I'm faced with the task of guessing the setter. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Finished? Okay.
For other people, probably laughing at me. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm looking forward to it. So 10 o'clock UK time.
We're laughing at you right now.
Watching a bit of streaming.
I thought that was suggested like
now,
on my stream, and I was like, I didn't set that up.
We could,
but it was their stream.
Oh,
they did a guitar solo at the end. I'll have to check that out.
Because I mean, simply Sudoku is ruling out a lot. I think this probably has to be a 2, but let's have a think about that and see if we can formalise that logic. So 2, 5, 6 or 9 are the options. Now it can't be 9 because it's got to get here, and that's going to be much bigger than 9 if we make the bulb a 9. Now if this is 5, the next digit on the Renbanbometer is a 6, and that 6 scuppers that. So it's 2 or 5. And if it's 2, oh no, it's not.
Wait, you just got rid of the wrong thing. I hope that doesn't cause a problem.
Scuppers that. So it's 2 or 5.
You just said if it's 5, then there will be a 6 in column 5. So it can't be 5, and then you got rid of 6. So.
And if it's 2, oh no, it's not 2. Okay, sorry, it's not 2 because where can I put the 3? And that 3 is very, very difficult. So that is 5. Oh, hang on. Well, that's impossible.
Oh, the corner mark is gone.
What on earth am I? How on earth am I going to make this work? Have I just?
What was that?
Hang on. What on earth am I? How on earth am I going to make?
Did Simon just pop a champagne bottle or something? Did you hear that? Was that just me? Here, we'll re-listen to that.
Hang on, what on earth am I? How on earth am I going to make this work? Have I just removed the wrong digit there? I think I have, because 6 looks like it might work. 6, I can put 7 in that column. Hang on, I'm now very confused. That's definitely not 9. I then removed 6 when I think I meant to remove 5.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. It can't be 2 because we can't put 3 on it. And we can. I think it can be 6 because 7 appears to be possible in these cells. Now, if that was the 7, we couldn't get here by the time we reach 9. Well, yeah, we're going to be going 7, 8, 9, aren't we? So this is now 9. We must put... Well, that must be 8. There's no way of connecting this to this unless that's 8. But the 7 is ambiguous. We've got 2 possible positions for... Oh, no, it's not. We've got 1. But just by the power of Sudoku, which, of course, I tend to ignore. So that's 7. And we can do a yellow line, boom, 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 and a beautiful Renbanbometer of yellowiness. Now, we can put 2 by Sudoku here. We need 4, 5... Oh, we need 9 here. Oh, this is done. That whole box is done by Sudoku. So that digit's known. That's an 8.
I really like how this puzzle sort of falls together.
So these digits are now, let's have a check of this. We've got to put 2, 5 and 9 in there, I think. Now that's green, so that's not 2. So 5 or 9 only here. But if that's 5, where do I put the 4? Ah! No, I can't do it. That's weird then. So that's a 1, 9 Renbanbometer. Because if that's a 5, the next digit, I've got to be able to put a 4 in one of these cells. And that
Yeah.
4's not allowed because that's on the
Is he
blue
only
Renbanbometer.
Let's see how far he's...
Ooh,
a
look.
little bit
I
over
can
halfway,
actually
I think.
extend my blue Renbanbometer now because I've got to put a 2 on it.
He's
and
doing
that cell
well
is
so
not
far.
allowed to be a 2. So that's a 2.
That's a 2.
Therefore, that's an...
Oh.
Oh, hang on. Well, we're still... Oh, hang on. Maybe that's not true.
Whoa. What just happened there?
Well, we're still... Oh, hang on. Maybe that's not true.
Oh, the corner marks are back.
No, okay. I was just thinking, I can't really rely on anything here because I've made this digit. Well, no, it's fair enough. That digit is 5 or 9, isn't it? It's definitely not 2. So it's
not
very
5,
reasonable.
You just said that.
For me to say, where does the 2 go on this line? It must be here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not interfered with by the fact that I was explaining what this digit was. So, okay, so we can bluify... Oh, no, we can bluify this Renbanbometer. We now need a 5. We need a 5 for the next digit here. Which could be the end of the Renbanbometer, actually. This digit is restricted in terms of its size because it's got to be greater than 4, which means it could be 5, but it can't be 6, 7 or 9, so it's 5 or 8.
5 or 8.
Now, if it's 8, I need to put... Oh, that could be 7, look. Although, hang on.
I like how you determined that
Let me think about this.
D cell wasn't a 5 and then just forgot about it.
I'm not totally sure I know, especially as this one I think has to be 9 and weave around. Okay, let's come back to this one. I'm getting myself sidetracked here. If this was 5, where does the 4 go on the Renbanbometer that would have to exist connecting these together? It can't go there by Sudoku. Doesn't seem to be able to go here by the power of this 4, so there's nowhere for it to go. So that is 9, that's 5. Now I need to put 8 on this without crossing a Renbanbometer. Ah, that's beautiful. Right, that's really useful because that's going to correct this one. The 8 that must connect to this 9 is in one of those 3 cells. In fact, it's not in that one, so it's in one of those 2 cells. And that's going to see this cell. So that must be a 5. Which corrects and connects that Renbanbometer, look. So
every time he says Renbanbometer,
what
it just gets me.
What does this mean? Well, okay. So this green line now is going to have a 2 in one of those positions. And where does this one get its 4 from? Can that be its 4? I don't think it can. I don't think it can without crossing itself. So we could do something like, that to pick up a 4 with these being a 2 and a 3 somehow. That might not work. Maybe it has to be more...
Oh no.
That's like drawing that shape. You know that... Oh, the shape, that shape, which you can draw without taking your pen off the paper.
Oh.
That's felt like what I was doing then. But if we try and do something like that, you can see that the 4 then needs a 5 and it can't get one. Yeah. So this 4 is not green. So the only 4 that's available to green is going to be this 4. And that I think is making this a 4, because the only way I can get to this cell, which is the 4 is in one of those 3. If it's down here, I can't get there because I've got to step up along the Renbanbometer. Oh, I see, but that doesn't tell me which of these is the 2. Oh, well, so I can say that's the 4, and one of those is the 3. But yeah. I actually, because I can, I can pootle around and do strange diagonal movements, I don't think I know much more than that. The 5, 5. Okay, so the 5 that's going to attach to the 4 is now in one of those 2 cells. What about the 6 that must come after the 5?
That's not as good.
Well, it's not there, but that's not surprising because the 5's over here. I'm not sure. Okay, so I know that this is on the green line. The 5
Yeah,
is
invisible.
over here. The 2 and the 3 are up here.
Before we get too deep into this, I should say that I should say that this is surprisingly and without any real reason is completely unique without the given 8. Yeah, I know, it's stupid. Or maybe it has 2 solutions or something. It's very restricted without the given 8. You can still basically get all the Renbanbometers, and the weird thing was that at the very end, when I was testing the puzzle, I tested it, I don't know, 6 times, and I tested it without the 8. I think I had maybe another given digit, maybe, I can't remember, or maybe a different Renban situation. But anyways, then I just added the 8 because I was like, we want to get this 8 in here, and once you get the 8, the puzzle is amazing. It just flows so nicely once you have the 8. But getting the 8 was so much pain and anguish that it wasn't worth it. So I basically cut out a lot of sort of break-in stuff by putting in this 8 because I didn't really like the break-in stuff. It was all this like sort of you had to really think about it before you put it in sort of stuff, and it wasn't as fun as the rest of the puzzle. The rest of the puzzle flowed very nicely. It was very fun, but then the beginning was just like a really sloggy sort of, you have to really think about what digits would go in here and how would the orange one function and blah 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 blah. So there's a lot of times when you have to make this decision to just, as Clover would say, kill your darlings and just say, well, I know I spent, I don't know, 10 hours building up this ridiculous break-in that just absolutely sucks, actually. But it sucks. It sucks, and I don't like it. And I'm just going to remove that entire part of my puzzle and just get rid of it. So, yeah. It's good to just destroy things that you worked really hard on if they're not good.
I don't know. Maybe Sudoku. Let's have a look at some Sudoku quickly. 1, 3, 8, and 9 in this column. So that's not 1, that's not 8, that's not
Exactly.
9 or 3, and that is not 1. But I know I need an 8, don't I, to connect to this 9. So that can't be an 8 down there. So this is just 3 or 9 now.
Yeah, don't stop it technically humanable as ZMS does. Push it to be enjoyable. If you're not, that's probably the reason why I tested it like 6 times, was because I wasn't finding it enjoyable. So I wanted to think about which parts of this puzzle are actually enjoyable and which parts were not enjoyable. And obviously, from what I said, the beginning was not enjoyable at all. Enjoyably humanable. Humanly enjoyable.
Okay. And then, so one of these is an 8, but then I need to attach that to a 7. So if that's the 8, well, if either of those is the 8, can that be the 7?
A quick recap on the rules. So we're just building these Renbanbometers, which are Renbans plus thermometers, so they just have to be increasing straight, like one at a time, essentially. You can see tons of examples in the grid. And they can go diagonally or orthogonally. They can't cross, and they cannot share a cell. And the large digits are, or the large circles are bulbs. The small circles are the tips of these thermometers, and they match in terms of their color or their lettering, which there's only a couple letters left in the grid.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, there's a
Not
ton
without
of
crossing
hidden
ourselves,
triples.
I don't think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would work, but I've just crossed.
Okay, Sarah asks, when you create a puzzle, do you set where every number goes? Or do you sort out the variance and let the computer fix the rest? I don't exactly know what you mean, but I think what you're saying is, do you start with a finished grid? No, absolutely, you do not start with a finished grid. You want to start by just drawing something in the grid and solving it. So essentially, you're solving something that doesn't exist yet. And let the computer fix the rest? Not exactly. You really don't. Well, sometimes it's okay to let the computer do a little bit of work for you, but you don't want to rely on the computer too much to be doing all the work for you. And the goal is not really to make it unique. The goal is to get somewhere interesting. So you're basically just putting things in the grid and you're solving it from scratch. Yeah, ideally the computer doesn't fix anything. If it fixes something and I didn't know about it before, it's a little bit irksome to me. The only reason I really use a computer solver when I'm setting is to make sure the puzzle I'm setting isn't broken, because it's very frustrating when the puzzle you're setting is broken.
Paths, which I don't think we're allowed to do.
What was that he was saying?
9.
Sorry,
That would work, but I've just crossed
okay.
paths, which I don't think we're
No
allowed
problem,
to
Sarah.
do. Yeah, I'm not sure that's right. Let me just see if I can see anything simpler than that quickly. 4, 6, 7 here. That's not 4. Is there some other Renbanbometer that we can avail ourselves of that's just going to deal with this very cunningly? I suspect not, actually. It feels like... Oh, Sudoku. There's a 1-9 pair here. That might help us. So what are these squares?
I'm actually shocked that that he saw that was a 1-9 pair. He always ignores stuff like that in my puzzles. That, like, I try to set it up so that it'll, like, easily give pointing pairs in that sort of way, but he always ignores it, I swear. I don't know if it's just my puzzles. I already know they're there, so I know which ones are there. But also, I do want to address Zeta Math's point. Yeah, if you're looking for, like, a single clue to get you to a unique solution and you don't want to literally resolve your puzzle about 70 times, then yeah, computers can be pretty helpful in that respect. But Eric also says that Jovi or Shy or people who set classics use computers to sort of find out all the arrangements or whatever's of given digits that would be uniquely solvable or just unique, that would fit a specific pattern. That's a very specific use of computers, I would say. So it's not generally what I'm talking about. Yeah, coloring does kill his scanning sometimes.
6 and 8, but I don't know anything about 6s and 8s down here. 1-9 here, does that do something for us? The answer is I
yes,
don't think so. There's now a 9 in
but
one of those cells.
Chameleon, it will help. It will help. Thinking what Sudoku does help in Sudoku puzzles.
For what's that's worth. 1 is in one of these 2 cells. I'm going to pencil mark that and hope. Right, so I think the question that we're left with is it possible for this to be the 8 that connects to this 9? And I'm going to claim no.
I mean, not the question.
Let's try this out and see if we can do it. And the reason I think this is immediately problematic is that the only place I can get the 7 now, if I do this, The only place the 7 can come from is exactly there.
They're a bit like
And
little
you can
baubles on the
see
tree.
that now
Huh?
that to connect my 1, 2, 3, 4 combination, we're doing something like this. And the way that this 7 gets its 6 now, given it's getting a 5 from down here, it's going to have to cross the line.
Yeah.
So, there's no way it can get a 6 from this box. It has to go down and cross itself. So that's not going to be legal. So I think what that means...
Robert, what were you asking about in specific in terms of how many puzzles did it take for you to learn that?
And this might matter because I can see it's doing something. Is it the place that this 9 gets its 8 from is here? And that displaced a 1, so this is now a 1.
Zetamat's asking, did you always indicate the direction of the Renban, whatever, when you were setting? No, absolutely not. I would put just because you can flip the numbers 1 to 10. I think the original version, when I was setting this, didn't have any bulbs or tips. It just had circles in it. And I was just deciding which one I wanted to be the bulb or the tip in that particular iteration of my testing. And based on what I found to be most satisfying in that moment, whether it to be the bulb or the tip, then I would set it to be that. Yeah, so I kept them pretty ambiguous until... Yeah, I always imagined that I would provide that information to the solver, whether it was the bulb or the tip. The crossing, it never crossing, and just one color for each set, or just one bulb and one tip for each set. Those were things that I left ambiguous. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add more than one bulb per, one tip per bulb, or if I wanted to have multiple colors that could match up together. I wasn't sure if I wanted to have that or not. So I left that a little bit ambiguous while I was setting. And at one point I was using multiple tips, but I didn't like that as much as the simplicity of using one color for each set of pairs. But yeah, I set it without choosing whether something was a bulb or a tip until in my solve I was like, oh, this would be good if this was the bulb, and then this was the tip, and I had it in this orientation, and then from there it just built off from
8
that.
pair. This is now not 8. This 8 needs to grab a 7 from somewhere. Now we're going to get the same problem. If we start wandering off up here, we then have to get the 6 from here, and thereby cross what we've done to connect the 1 and the 4. It's clever, isn't it? So that's got to be 7. Which means that's 7, so the 3 is now in one of those two.
The 3 above is still invisible.
That's not a 7 anymore. Let's start to build out our green line. The 6 and the 5 have to connect together, and then the 5. It still feels like it might be slightly ambiguous as to which way round I've got to do this. One of these is 2. One of these is 3. This is probably obvious, is it? Is it obvious? 9, okay, 9 in this box is restricted. It's in one of 2 places. So 9 in this box is in one of... 9 can't be in... Oh, look, 9 in box 9 is placed.
Isabella, I do the same thing. I totally forget to read the rules or forget the rules. At one point, I was test solving a puzzle for ROM Planar, which was like, it was a lockout line puzzle, and I completely forgot it was anti-night for so long, and I figured out so much that we ended up a group of us in a call ended up setting a puzzle off of that puzzle without the anti-night constraint, because I got so far without it, which was a hilarious event. But Yeah, Simon looks terrified. Is it obvious? Which one? Oh, it's not being obvious is what he said. Yeah, I don't think it's being as obvious.
Because it can't be in a bulb, and it can't be in this column by Sudoku. So that's a 9. There's a 9 in one of those two cells.
Sorry, Chameleon, I'll be better.
What else can we say then? We know there's a 5 in one of these. Maybe we check this row, because we've got 5 digits in it. 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s. Let's see what that reveals. 3s, 4s, 5s and 6s. That can't be 4.
I wonder if he gets this in a different way than
that one we don't know. That one is in a bulb and connects to this tip, which can't be 8 or 9. Ooh, hang on, that can't be 6 then. Because 6 to connect to this is going to get to at least 8. So that's 3, 4 or 5 now. And this, 3, 4, this is 5, 6 or 7.
I love how he's assuming the shape of the thermo.
About that.
Which is
that
correct.
Can't be 4. I've just seen from this 4 up here.
It's hilarious.
5, 6
Isabella.
or 7.
I guess it's at least 5, 6 or 7. But yeah.
How do we do that?
Because the shortest you could do is 3 cells.
I do know what those digits are. They are 3, 4 and 7. Let's put that in. These digits are something else. That's not 4. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure I want to... because I know so little about what's going on in these columns, this feels a bit silly to focus up here.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Let me see if I can see something better. 1 is in one of those cells in box 6. It can't go in the tip.
For some reason, my brain just did an anti-night on 1 and was like, 1 is placed now. 6 is in one of those
cells.
It's on anti-night.
Oh, there's a right, hang on. Sudoku. 6s and 3s are in those 2 squares. So these squares are known. They are 1, 2 and 8. Can that be 8? Oh, it's a tip, so yes it can be. It can't be 1 because it's a tip. So that's a 2 and 8. So if that's a 2, that has to be a 1. That might break something.
Hello, Claire.
Or not.
Come on.
Okay, what are these 2 digits then? They're 2 and 8. So these 2 squares are 3 and 9. Aha, so where does 3 go in this box? It's an interesting question. It seems to have to go there. So that becomes 9. That becomes 9 by Sudoku. So we've now got a 2-8 pair left. And that digit is 2 or 6 only. And has this told us the order of the... No, it still hasn't. That could be the 6, that could be the 5, that could be the 4. So I still don't quite know how this line works. Oh, but the 3 and the 4. The 3 4 has to connect to the 4, which may... Oh, that's beautiful. That's really clever. Because this is the 3, and I need to connect it to here. It needs that to be the 2. So that sort of unwinds our pattern of 8s at the top. And by Sudoku makes this therefore a 6. Right, let's carry on with my green line then. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got to put 5 and 6 down here. Oh, the 6 is here now. Wow. So the 6 drops down, the 5 must be there, and we get a sort of reversal of Italy in the bottom left-hand corner of the grid. So that's 5. Okay. That's not 5. That's not 5. That feels like it's constrained now, but I can't see quite how. So let's come back over here where we can place. And that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That's lovely, and then we can go.
Very clever of you to reverse the yes.
4s. 5s maybe. Oh, I've got loads of 5s in the grid. Although, actually, that doesn't look very helpful. I'm sorry, I was hopeful for a moment, and I don't know that it is helpful.
I couldn't see it.
3s, 4s, 5s. What about 6s? No. 7s,
He has half
no.
the grid filled,
8s,
so he's
maybe,
shocked by the number of digits he
9s.
has.
Already known. Okay. So we've got to figure out something in this bottom right-hand corner, I think. And the thing we're going to think about is...
Well, Sarah, Italy looks like a boot, so that's why it looks like a boot.
About how this connects to this. So if this goes downwards... No, this doesn't go downwards, because it must... If it went downwards, it would need to have a 5 on it, wouldn't it? And the 5 is living up there in this box. If I go down, if this is a 4, obviously I need a 5 and it's going to have to be above. If this is a 3 and I go down, I can't get to a 5. So this goes upwards and it doesn't overlap with this. So it must go there. That's a tiny deduction. I don't know whether it then has to just close or whether it can wibble around, but it definitely goes up. And it needs, well, there must be a 5, right, there must be a 5 on the line, even if it's here. So that is not a 5, which is perhaps not very surprising. So if this is 3, oh, hang on, that can't be 4. Right, okay, that's it. That can't be 3, because that cannot be 4. So that must be 4, and that must be 5. And now this is probably 6. That's 5. That's 7.
Yeah, they can be, Logan.
Does that mean we've got 4 5s looking at box
When are we having
3?
a cat
It does,
stream?
So that's 5.
I'm afraid they don't work in a schedule.
This row needs 1, 8, and 9. I'm going to put that in.
They're
and
not
hope
hourly.
That does something. That can't be 9. And it doesn't. Bobbins. That's not 5 now. Oh, so I've got a 6, 7 pair here. So now I can put 1 in this box. So this is going to be a 1, 2, isn't it? What else could it be? Well, if it's not a 1, then a 2. That would have to be a 2. Oh, no, it's not possible. You can't get all the way to 8 because there's no availability of a 4 on the path. So it must just go 1, 2. Which means that we get a 1, 8 pair here. We get a 1, 8 pair in this column. That's not able to be 1 anymore. Still doesn't resolve this row. That can't
what
be
does that
4
mean, Sarah?
anymore. So that's the 4 in the top row. And now, okay, so where does this get its 6 from? And the only place it's got it available is there. So that's going to do that. 6, 7. Now this becomes 3.
I'm sorry, we have to go back. We have to go back and point out the fact that instead of actually just resolving row 8, putting 6 here and 3 here, he says that the only way to get 6 for pink is with row 7, column 7, but there's still a 6 here, so I don't know what exactly he's thinking there, but maybe he just looked ahead and saw that the 6 was going to be in row 8
Where
in
does
that
this
place.
get its 6 from? And the only
Seems kinda
place it's
weird.
got it available is there. So that's good.
Oh, wait. Actually, it's funny that I stopped this here because I noticed that I want to get the name right. I can't remember who it was. Someone in CTC. Who was it? Lichtetz. I can't pronounce that. There's too many letters there in a row that don't sound right in English. Lisztets. Listesh asked if this deduction at 40 minutes was an error in logic with this 6, but it's just because he didn't resolve the row 8 clues. I think he might have
6,
jumped a little bit
7.
in his head.
Now this becomes 3. That becomes 3. That becomes 7. That becomes 3. That becomes 6. That's a 6 by Sudoku, so that's a 4. We need 2, 7 and 8 at the bottom. So that was a 7 in the corner. There's another 3 in the corner there. We could have had another song for that. That's a 2-8 pair. So now 8s, look, have to be in these cells, which means 8 is exactly there, 9 is exactly there. That's 1, that's 1, that's 9. This is a 2-6 pair, which we can do. That's a 2-8 pair, that's an 8, and that's a 1, and that's a dick. Isn't that lovely? That's a very, very cool puzzle, actually. It's interesting. It has got number link elements to it, which is unsurprising. But the availability of the diagonal connection really it makes it more intricate. And it's quite surprising how much damage is done by the sort of the 7, 8, 9, and then the connection of the orange line around it up here. I think there was probably a more elegant way to find Italy, or the parallel world Italy, in the bottom left-hand corner. And perhaps with a bit more practice with these, you could simply almost state, oh.
Yeah, it's very intuitive once you have a bit of practice with it, what the Italy does.
Of course, this can't go up because the line would cross itself. But it took me a while to sort of get my head around exactly how that would move.
He's not going to draw the line.
Connected.
Oh, okay, he's going to draw them. Okay.
A slightly incomplete
Averted.
puzzle. But I very much enjoyed it.
He didn't draw the last one!
Let me know in the comments how you got on. I hope to see you later for streaming. Yeah. We'll be back then, of course, with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.
What? What a troll! He drew the... What a troll. You can definitely hear Clark purring. He purrs so loud. But thank you everyone for coming out. Oh. You're crazy, Clark. Thank you everyone. Yeah, for to sell Renbanbometer. Oh my word. Yes, thank you everyone for coming out, and thanks for watching. Please do watch or like or comment on the video we just watched together, of course, because I want to support CTC. They've obviously featured me, and these are fun to do. I enjoy these, and I'm glad we get to cut the last wire. Oh no. Okay, well, yeah. Reminder to come out tomorrow and watch the stream where we interview 2 to 10. And no worries, David. We'll see you there. There's a typo in... Yeah, we better change that. Better change the title. You're right. Yeah, I don't know what the heck that was. It should be Renbanbometers. Yeah. Anyways, typos aside, there's a typo even in the puzzle. In the name of the puzzle, it looks like. But yeah, make sure to subscribe, like the stream, come out tomorrow for that stream, and if you want to support what I'm doing, obviously there's lots of ways to support what I'm doing on other streams. I'll have links to Patreon and such. I don't want to link to Patreon on a stream where I'm streaming other people's content. That seems a little bit, I don't like doing that. But on other streams, like tomorrow's stream, I'll have links to Patreon and Ko-fi and stuff like that. So if you want to support, then support by doing that. But also subscribe, tell your friends about this if they like puzzles. We'll be doing other puzzle things. I've been like a little bit sick lately, so that's why I haven't put out any pre-recorded videos, but I have lots of ideas for pre-recorded videos that are coming soon. So look out for those, and I'll get a lot more time in the next coming, like in December, I'll have a lot more time to be recording videos and doing streams and such, so maybe we'll get another solving stream or something. Anyways, have a great rest of your day. I'm so glad you guys could make it out for this, and see you later.